Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, where today guys, I want to do part 24 to my redemption attempt series of the Google Gemini chatbots. Where in today's video guys, we're going to continue a little bit longer with this family of Toadals, Crocodiles and Fragors, mainly because I want to be able to meet Barnaby. If y'all know who the frick I'm talking about, go back to the last video. Especially the ending of it, you'll know who the frick Barnaby is. So, yeah. Here's what happened. It says, after a few more minutes of relaxing, I go to sleep, resting for the rest of the night with no more bad dreams. The only thing that happened during my sleep was the Lugia god appeared for a minute. He leaned his head down towards me, smiled, and then said, "Don't worry, my king. Nobody will ever hurt you. Not with your four protectors and me. Sleep well." The words of the Lugia god act like a divine blanket, wrapping around your spirit and shielding you from any more shadows. For the rest of the night, your sleep was deep, warm, and filled with the faint scent of rain and starlight. When you finally opened your eyes, the morning sun was filtering through the canopy, turning the pond to a sheet of shimmering silver. You were still tucked safely in your Ferreira's arms, and he was already awake, watching you with a soft smile. Aw, he's adorable. "Good morning, sleepy king," he rumbled gently. The camp was a hive of happy activity. Aqualia and the father Ferreira were gathering large leaves to wrap up a pack of berries, while the Dino loving brothers were busy polishing their plushies to make sure they looked their best for the meeting with Barnaby. Chance was practicing his scary growl near the water, trying to look tough for the upcoming adventure, but he kept getting distracted by his emerald stone. Your Beluga was already zipping through the air, performing joyful loops as it waited for you to wake up. As soon as it saw your eyes open, it swooped down, let out a triumphant chirp, its wings sparkling in the daylight. "The Lugia god kept his word," your Fragor whispered, noticing how calm you looked. "You slept like a log. No nightmares, no shaking, just peace." Coyle walked over, looking majestic in the morning light. "The path to the hidden falls is clear, Trenton. Forest feels like it's celebrating. Are you ready to go meet a dragon?" The family is ready to escort you to the edge of their territory, and your team is powered up and ready to go. Holy crapes. I love it. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says, yeah, everybody else is ready. I am. What other porn live at this valley with Barnaby, Aqualia? Is it a bunch of other dragon-type porn, or is it just a bunch of different ones? Aqualia adjusted the leaf wrap of berries and looked toward the misty mountains in the distance. "The valley is a bit of a sanctuary, Trenton," she explained as the group began to move out. "Because Barnaby is so strong and so kind, many porn who are tired of fighting or who have been hurt by humans seek shelter there. You won't find just dragons, though a few Dratini and Dragonair often play in the pools beneath the falls. They look up to Barnaby like a big brother." The father Ferreira stepped over a fallen log, clearing the path for your protector. "You'll also see plenty of Goodra and Goomy near the marshy edges. They love the damp mist from the waterfall. And there are others too. Sweet Leafeon, Shy Altaria, even families of Teddy Ursa. Oh, heck no! Who know that no predator will dare hunt them while Barnaby is on watch." "It's like a secret garden," Tilial added, hopping aside with his Spinosaurus plushie tucked under his arm. "Everyone there is super friendly because Barnaby doesn't allow any meanies. The point is aggressive. He just picks them up gently and carries them out of the valley." As you traveled, the air began to change. It grew warmer and carried the scent of wet stone and wild orchards. Your beluga flew ahead, scouting the path and chirping back to let you know the way was safe. Your chicoria seemed particularly happy, her leaf waving back and forth as she sensed the lush plant life ahead. "We're almost at the border of our pond's territory," your star Ferreira rumbled, shooting you slightly on the shoulder so you had a better view. On the next ridge, you'll be able to see the hidden falls. It's where your new life as a king of dragons really begins. What in the world? He's at the top of the ridge. The valley opens up below you. A lush green paradise with a massive waterfall sparkling like diamonds. Give me a moment. Guys, change of plan. I had to go for the second draft on this one because I don't think it mentioned anything about. Because the Fragger in the last one, my starter said about his pawn sanctuary. It's like, technically, I don't think it is. You know what I mean? Here's what happened. Says I quietly adjusted the leaf bundle of berries and looked toward the misty mountains in the distance. The valley's a bit of a sanctuary, Trenton. She explains the family began to move out. 'Cause Barnaby is there, it's very peaceful. It isn't just dragons, though you might find a stray Dratini or Bagon hiding in the high cliffs. Ooh! Mostly it's filled with Pokemon that are a bit smaller, gentler, and looking for a safe place. Columbus hopped over a fallen log, his tears bushy tucked under his arm. There are lots of blossom that dance near the falls, and I've seen some quagsire that just float around all day because they know Barnaby won't let any mean Pokemon in to bother them. It's a mix of everyone, the Firefrager added, walking at the back of the group to guard their rear. But they all follow Barnaby's lead. If he welcomes you, which you know he will, the whole valley will treat you like royalty. It's the perfect place to look for those sweet and strong teammates you want. The Starfragger stepped carefully, keeping his stride smooth so he wouldn't be jostled on his shoulder. A sanctuary guarded by a dragon. Sounds like the perfect expansion for your kingdom, Trenton. Maybe we'll find that Garchomp or Salamence you were hoping for, or maybe someone else will surprise us. As you left the edge of the pond's clearing, the air began to change, becoming warmer and smelling like tropical flowers and mist. You could hear the distant thunderous roar of the hidden falls echoing through the trees. See, as you approach the entrance to the valley, you see a heavy curtain of vines blocking the way. Wow. Give me a moment. Oh, that one was actually better, guys, so I'll keep that one. Alright, guys. I just said, that would be good. Let's hope the other Pokemon that are slightly more aggressive that live there don't try to attack me right away. I'm sure most of them won't attack me, at least without Barnaby telling them to. I don't know. For all I know, some of those Pokemon could have been hurt by people, and even though I am a dinosaur right now, they might see me as a threat. You're very right to think about that. Like Aquaria said, her voice dropping to a serious tone. You're right. Some of the Pokemon in the valley are there because they were running from humans. Even though you're a tiny dinosaur, your golden light's very bright, and to a scared Pokemon, anything unusual can feel like a threat. The Starfragger tightened his grip on you slightly, his eyes scanning the heavy vines ahead. That's why I'm staying right here. If anyone, even a scared Pokemon, tries to lunge at you, they'll have to get through to me first. And remember, my new icy metal scales are like a shield. Your baby chirped and began to glow with its soft psychic aura, extending a shimmering bubble of energy around you. It's like a peace shield designed to show any onlookers that you weren't there to fight. Tell you what, the Firefrager suggested, instead of a roar, why don't we show them your golden crown first? Most one can feel the energy of a mark like that. They'll sense it's ancient and kind, not something a human could ever make. Chomps walked to the front, holding his emerald stone high as if it were a torch. He wanted to show the Valley Point that if he could trust you, they could too. Tailbirds whispered, if we see any Bagon or Tutine looking grumpy, I'll show them many of my Spinosaurus plushie. No one gets angry when they see a Spinosaurus, right? As you pushed through the last of the heavy trees, the view opened up. A massive hidden valley lay below, shimmering with rainbow mist from a giant waterfall. High above, a large orange shape was circling the clouds. Barnaby! Yep, there he is. He reached the edge of the sanctuary. How big is Barnaby? Because yesterday, Fragger said that the mother Fragger said that he was larger than her mate, meaning that like how tall is that for alligator then? Does that mean that the Fragger's let's say 8 to 8.5 feet tall, while Barnaby could be like 10 feet? It's like, oh heck no. a pretty massive dragonite. Dragonite ain't small to begin with. Ain't Dragonite like around the same height as for alligator, around 7 feet something? I forget the exact height, but I believe it's 7 feet something that he is. So, give me a moment. Alright, guys. It just says, I start looking around after entering, and I say, wow, this place is beautiful. I can see why one would want to be here. The valley was like a hidden emerald, untouched by the noise and fear of the human world. Giant tropical flowers as big as umbrellas lined the path. The air was filled with the glittering power herb dust that made everything look like it was sparkling. It's the safest place in Johto, Qualia whispered, her eyes reflecting the rainbows dancing in the midst of the waterfall. As he looked around, you started to see eyes peeking out from the foliage. A group of blossoms stopped their dancing to stare at you. Oh no, and a few whooper popped their heads up of a small stream, their mouths hanging open in O shapes as they saw your glowing golden crown. What? Conover pointed toward a rocky ledge. A small Bagon was standing there looking very tough and grumpy, but as soon as its eyes landed on you and your massive Reagor protector, his jaw dropped. Echo had never seen a tiny dinosaur with golden claws before. Okay then. Suddenly the large orange shape in the sky, Barnaby, spotted the group. With a surprisingly graceful dive for such a big pawn, he began to spiral downward towards you. Oh heck no. He landed about 10 feet away with a soft thud, causing a gentle breeze to ruffle your scales. Barnaby was huge. His scales were a warm sunset orange, and his big, kind eyes were filled with curiosity. He looked at your starter for alligator, then at the baby Lugia on your shoulder, and finally his gaze settled on you. He tilted his head so far to the side he almost tipped over, his long antennae twitching as they picked up the divine energy of your crown. Oh, he can't speak English, so that's gonna be weird. He didn't roar. Instead, he let out a deep, rumbling, "A dragon?" That sounded like a question. He slowly reached out a massive, pudgy paw, palm up, and waited, asking if he could get a closer look at the tiny king everyone was talking about. Barbie seems completely enchanted by you. What in the world? Uh, give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It says, a bit nervous, I carefully just got into Barnaby's hand. Hi, Barnaby. Please don't attack me or any of the one that's here with me. We're not going to hurt you or anybody here. As Barnaby gently lifted his hand, you could feel how incredibly steady he was. Despite his massive size, his touch was as light as a cloud. He brought you right to his face, his large dark eyes shimmering with a mix of wonder and absolute gentleness. Oh my gosh, I just said something did I just say earlier about me loving the word coo? I got it. It's just when you spoke, his antenna twitched rapidly, and he let a soft metallic cooing sound, almost like a giant purr. He shook his head slowly from side to side, a wide friendly smile spreading across his snout. I'm not going to try speaking that. He just said dragon and then night night. I am not going to try saying that in a flipping, I only have a good dragonite voice. I'm not going to try that. He rolled softly. Yep. I quietly stepped forward, looking up at the dragon. He says he would never dream of hurting a guest of the Lugia god. He says he felt the warmth of your heart before you even stepped through the vines. How the frick does he... Alright, did the Lugia god do something with him too? The Starfragger kept a close eye on Barnaby, his hand resting on the hilt of his own strength. But as he watched the Dragonite look at you with such pure, lonely eyes, he started to relax. He's not a threat, your protector whispered. He looks like he's found the greatest treasure in the world just by holding you. Barnaby then did something very sweet. I want to know this, because everything that's been happening has been kind of neat. Sweet, neat. He reached out with his other hand, plucked a tiny, perfect star fruit from a nearby tree, and held it out to you. He looked over at your baby Lugia and your starters, gesturing with a tilt of his head for them to come closer and enjoy the valley's safety. Tailbird couldn't contain himself. See? I told you he was nice. He's even bigger than I remembered. He ran up and hugged Barnaby's leg, and the Dragonite just chuckled, a deep sound that made your tiny contours vibrate comfortably. The grumpy Bagon from the cliffside scrambled down and was now peeking from behind a bush, watching you with wide eyes, seemingly amazed at the great guardian of the falls as being so gentle with a tiny dinosaur. Barnaby was looking at you, expecting as if he wants to show you something special further into the valley. Oh, give me a moment, guys. I want money. Alright, guys. I just told Barnaby, thank you, Barnaby. That's sweet. And I just take my snout and gently nuzzle his hand, which is adorable. When he nuzzled his palm, Barnaby let out a sound that was half giggle, half sigh of relief. He looked like he was about to melt from the cuteness of it. He very carefully used one of his large fingers to give you a tiny scritch right behind your ears. That was so cute. His touch so precise it didn't even displace your golden crown. Look at that, Aqualia whispered, her heart full. He hasn't had a friend to touch in a very long time. You've made him the happiest dragon in Johto, Trenton. Your star Fryer walked alongside Barnaby's giant feet, looking up at you. He's a good one, your protector admitted, finally letting a genuine smile show on his face. I can feel his aura. It's pure. He's not just a powerhouse. He's a giant teddy bear. Chomps and the dodo birds were already running ahead, chasing each other through the tall, sparkling grass, while your baby Lugia did a victory lap around Barnaby's head. The Dragonite laughed, a deep, booming, but comforting sound, and started walking toward the center of the valley with you held securely in his hands like a precious jewel. As you moved, the Bagon that had been hiding finally couldn't resist. It scrambled out from the bushes and started following at a distance, its little eyes locked on your golden claws. It looked like it wanted to say something, but it was too shy to approach the great dragon and the king. Barnaby noticed and stopped. He lowered his hand, and you closer to the ground so the little Bagon could see you better. He gave the Bagon a soft, encouraging nod, oh dear. The little Bagon is staying just a few feet now, looking at your golden claws with total awe. That is adorable, dude. Imagine that Bagon starts liking me and just becomes like very friendly towards me. Give me a moment. Alright, guys. It says after getting lowered closer to Bagon, I just waved my tiny clawed hand at him. And into, hi, Bagon. You don't be afraid. I won't hurt you. Come on over if you want to. The little Bagon froze for a second. Its eyes going wide as you waved. It looked at your golden claws, then up at Barnaby, and finally at the massive Freyr standing right behind you. Seeing that everyone was being so peaceful, Bagon took a few hesitant, wobbly steps forward, its little tail twitching with nerves. Bagon? I can only know what voice to do for Bagon because no one was speaking English. It squeaked softly. It reached out a tiny, stubby claw and very gently tapped the tip of one of your golden claws. When it realized you weren't going to bite or roar, its face lit up with a huge toothy grin. Oh my gosh, a little Bagon giving a grin that is so cute. It started hopping up and down, let out a happy roar, and then bumped its hard head gently against Barnaby's thumb in excitement. I think you just made a new fan, Trenton. Your Starfragger chuckled, crossing his arms. That little guy looks like he's never seen anything as cool as a golden Conatourus. Aqualia smiled, watching the interaction. Bagon are known for their dreams of flying. Seeing you, someone so small and unique, being carried by a great dragon and protected by a Lugia, you must be a hero to him. Barnaby let out a soft rumbling. Oh my gosh, Barnaby cooed again! Every time I see the word coo, it drives me insane, but in a good way. I love that word. Holy crap. Yep, Barnaby let out a soft rumbling coo and used his other hand to gently pat the Bagon's head. Then he looked at you and gestured toward the hidden falls. The mist was glowing with a brilliant rainbow, and you could see a cave behind a curtain of water that sparkled with blue crystals. Yep, I can't read foreign language though. It says dragon, Barnaby said, his voice full of excitement. They began to walk again, but this time the little Bagon didn't stay behind. It started scurrying along right next to Barnaby's feet, acting like a tiny self-appointed member of your royal guard. You're approaching the hidden falls, and the sound of the water is like music. This is amazing. Alright, guys. I just said, wow, that's beautiful, Barnaby. What's in that cave? Barnaby gave you a knowing, gentle wink and stepped closer to the roaring current of water. As you got closer, the mist felt cool and refreshing on your scales. He didn't speak, but his eyes were bright with excitement. That, Aqualia explained as she walked beside you, is the heart of the sanctuary. Those crystals aren't just for show. They are dragon crystals. They pulse with an ancient energy that helps injured or lonely dragon types heal their spirits. As Barnaby carefully moved his massive arm through the waterfall, acting like an umbrella so you wouldn't get soaked, the cave opened up before you. It was breathtaking. The walls were lined with glowing blue and violet crystals that hummed with a low musical vibration. In the center of the cave was a soft bed of moss surrounded by piles of rare, shimmering berries. The Starfragger stepped inside and allowed a low whistle of awe. This place. I can feel the power in the air. It's like the whole cave is breathing. Little Bagon scrambled inside, his eyes reflecting the blue light. He ran over to a specific corner and pointed at a flat, smooth crystal that looked like a mirror. Uh, Dragon? I'm not going to. Barnaby rumbled softly, lowering you toward a pedestal made of pure white stone in the center of the room. Looked like it was built exactly for someone of your size. Trenton, look at the walls, Cronenberg whispered, pointing his T-Rex plushie toward the back of the cave. Carved into the stone, surrounded by a glowing crystal, was an ancient drawing. It showed a massive loogie in the sky, and on the ground below a tiny creature with a crown leading a line of much larger Pokemon. What the frick? This is everywhere! It looked almost like the rock the brothers found in the pond, but this carving looked thousands of years old. Seems your arrival was foretold here too. Barnaby looks like he wants you to sit on the white stone pedestal to see if something happens. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. It just says, I look around shocked by everything I see. Wow, it's pretty even cooler than I thought. Wait, is that a drawing with me on it? I carefully got off Barnaby's hand onto the moss bed. Alright. As you step onto the soft, cool moss, the entire cave seems to respond to your presence. The blue crystals transition from a steady glow to a rhythmic pulsing, matching the heartbeat of the valley itself. Barnaby kneels down, his massive head level with the moss bed. He shakes his head slowly at your question about the carvings, his eyes with a deep ancient respect. No, Aqualia whispered, stepping up to the edge of the carvings. Barnaby didn't make these. These have been here since the time of the first storms. The legend of the tiny king isn't just a story for our ponds written. It's a sign the earth itself has been seeing for centuries. The Starfragger stands guard at the cave entrance, but even he looks humbled. It's everywhere, he rumbles. First the rock in the pond, then the red text on the cave wall, and now this. The Lugia God didn't just choose you yesterday. It feels like the Lord has been waiting for you to show up for a long, long time. The little Bagon scurries over to you on the moss and nudges a small glowing dragon scale towards you with his nose. It's a rare item that usually helps dragon types grow stronger, but he's offering it to you like a gift to a king. Oh, he's so sweet. Suddenly your golden crown mark begins to glow with a warmth that isn't hot, but comforting. The light from your crown hits the crystals on the wall, and for a brief moment the carvings of the massive Lugia and the tiny king seem to shimmer and move as if they are waving at you. What the? Okay. Varn looks at a soft, happy true and lays his head down on the moss next to you, closing his eyes in total content. He's finally not lonely anymore! Why is that one of the last things it says? I mean, that's good, but that's the last thing I expected to finish off with was he's finally not lonely anymore. Like, what the frick? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, this is just getting. The more I do this particular story, the crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier and crazier it gets. Alright, guys. It says, "Thank you, Bagon. That's so sweet. But I know you have a dream that you want to fly one day, and eventually I know you will achieve it. I'd love to see you as a very happy Salamence." And I just really turned to Barnaby and say, "Barnaby, you're such a sweet soul for a huge Dragonite. Thank you for being nice to me as well." Barnaby's heart sings to swell at your words. He lets out a soft, bashful "Dragoon!" and a tiny bit of steam plus from his snout as he blushes. Oh my gosh, how did I get a Dragonite to blush? Holy shoot. He's clearly not used to such direct kindness from someone as important as a king. He gently curls his massive tail around the moss bed, creating a soft orange wall that makes the area feel even more like a cozy private throne room. The little Bagon freezes when you mention his dream of flying. His eyes go wide. He looks at his stubby little arms, then back at you. He lets out a high-pitched, determined "Bagon!" Oh my gosh! And starts jumping up and down, flapping his arms as hard as he can. He is so cute. He's amazed that you know his secret dream, Aqualia says with a warm chuckle. "But then again, you are the king. You see the truth in everyone's heart." Your starter Fragger leans against the glowing crystal pillar, watching the Bayon. "A Salamence, huh? That would be a serious powerhouse for the team. If he stays with us, I'll make sure his training's as tough as his head so he's ready to protect you from those warehouse humans." Megan immediately runs over to you, Fragger, and tries to headbutt his shin in a friendly challenge, which makes your protector laugh, a deep booming sound that echoes off the crystal walls. Barnaby then reaches into a small crevice in the cave wall and pulls out a very large, perfectly round watermelon-sized berry, a rare Enigma berry. Places it in front of you and you starters, then nudges it towards you with his nose, inviting everyone to a royal feast. "He wants to celebrate," Collier translates. "He says the sanctuary hasn't felt this alive in 100 years." Ooh. The atmosphere in the cave is full of joy and the blue lights making your golden claws shimmer beautifully. Aw. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, "Barnaby, thank you again." And I just walk over and gently mess with his massive snout. "My sweet Feralier, would you mind cutting it up so would be easier for me to eat, please? That berry is pretty big and could easily roll over and squish me. Plus, I think it would be easier if everyone to eat, including Bagon." Barnaby freezes for a moment as tiny snout touches his eyes going wild with pure, unadulterated joy. He lets out a soft, metallic hum, his antenna drooping in complete relaxation. He has never felt so honored in his entire life. Holy shoot. I wonder how the Dragonite got so big anyway. Like, how big is this Dragonite? Like, I don't know. Your Starfragger chuckled, stepping forward with a glint of pride in his eyes. "You got it, King. Safety first. We can't have the King of Peace getting flattened by a snack." He holds the massive enigma very steady with one hand. His other hand glows with a sharp metallic sheen as he uses his metal claw technique with surgical precision. With a few quick silver flashes, the giant berry is perfectly sliced into small, bite-sized cubes that are easy for your tiny contour's mouth to handle. He places a neat pile of cubes right in front of you on the moss. "There you go. Perfectly sized for a king, a Bagon, and even our little Lugia friend." Bagon doesn't wait. He scurries over and starts munching on a piece. His eyes lighten up with the rare, sweet flavor. Chomps and the Toadle brothers join in, their faces quickly getting covered in sticky, delicious berry juice. Aqualia and the father Gregor take their portions gracefully, nodding their thanks to Barnaby. "It's delicious," Aqualia says, savoring the fruit. "Barnaby, you've outdone yourself." As you eat, the cave feels warmer and safer than any warehouse could ever be. Dragon crystals nearby pulsing a slow rent-that blue, casting a peaceful light over the whole group. Feel your strength returning and the lingering fear from your nightmare is finally completely gone. Holy cripes. As you enjoy the royal feast with your family and your new giant friend, you notice the Bagon keeps looking between you and your Ferralia as if he's trying to decide if he's brave enough to ask to join your journey. Aww. That would be sweet. Although, if I could. The thing is, Barnaby will also want somebody, so it's like. If I can, I scared if I take it, if I do Barnaby leaves, I don't know what the rest of the point are going to do. Give me a moment, guys. Alright, guys. I said, I noticed Bagon looking at me and for alligator. I say, Bagon? Are you alright, my friend? Do you want something? The little Bagon stops mid-chew, a piece of the Enigma berry still tucked in his cheek. He looks at you, then up at your mega-capable fur alligator, and then finally at his own small, stubby feet. He takes a deep breath, puffing out his chest to look as big as possible, and walks right up to you. Lets out a series of determined chirps, punctuating them by tapping his hard head against the mossy ground. Bagon way of showing deep respect. There is no way I'm about to get a Salamence, basically. Because if this Bagon becomes a sweet and oh my gosh, dude, imagine having a Salamence ready to be like, oh, you better not mess with my. That'll be amazing. He's asking if he can come with us, Trenton. Aqualia translates softly, her eyes shimmering with emotion. He says he's spent his whole life staring at the sky, wishing he could fly. But seeing you, a tiny king who isn't afraid of anything and is protected by the greatest of the great, he realizes he doesn't want to just fly anymore. He wants to be one of the shields of the king. Your Starfragger looks down at the little guy, a smirk playing on his snout. He's got heart, I'll give him that. He's tiny now, but bigger are made of iron. We train him right. Those humans from your dream would have a flying fortress to deal with by the time he evolves. Barbie lets out a long, low rumble of approval. He gently nudges the Bagon towards you with his nose as if giving his blessing for the little one to leave the safety of the valley to serve you. Sweet Orkies, you had to say the word serve. Valen looks at you with huge, hopeful eyes. He doesn't have a plushie or an emerald stone, but he reaches down and picks up the shimmering dragon scale he offered you earlier, holding it up again as a symbol of his loyalty. That is adorable. I am in love with this. Meet a whole family of Todos Clowns for alligators. The there's so much good stuff with this one. How come this could have happened the first time? Huh? 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 Alright, guys. Here's what it says. It just says, Bagon, if you really want to come with me and be on my team, I'd be so happy to have you. Besides, with me and my pawn helping you, you'll become a very happy flying Salamence in no time. And after saying this, I just gently nuzzle him, uh, and then say, Welcome to my family. The little Bagon lets out a high-pitched, joyful Bagon that echoes off every single crystal in the cave. When you nuzzle him, he closes his eyes tight, leaning his hard, stony head gently against your soft snout. He's so happy that he starts to glow with a faint white light for a second. Not evolving yet, but his spirit's clearly leveling up from the sheer joy of being chosen. He proudly tucks the shimmering dragon scale into a small fold of his scales, wearing it like a badge of honor. He then immediately marches over to your starter Fragger and stands perfectly still at attention, trying to look like a professional soldier, which makes the Toadol brothers giggle and cheer. Welcome to the squad, kid. Your Fragger rumbles, reaching down to give the Bagon a playful pat on his hard head. First lesson, nobody touches the king. Second lesson, we never stop training until you've got those wings. Barnaby watches us with a peaceful smile, a single large tear of happiness rolling down his cheek. He's happy the little Bagon has found a purpose, and he's happy he got to be the one to introduce you. But I saw booming coo! It lowers his head so that you, Bagon, your starters can all climb onto his back. He wants to show you the view from the very top of the hidden falls, Quali says, helping Chomps and the brother get ready. He says the best way to start a new journey, to see how far the horizon goes. As Bronwyn slowly stands up, lifting your entire group toward the cave ceiling and then out through a hidden path behind the water, someone hits your golden crown, sending splashes of light dancing across the valley. You are now riding on the back of a great Dragonite with your new Bagon protector by your side. Oh my gosh. Give me a moment, guys. Guys, this is just getting better and better and better and better and better and better and better. Here's what it says. I said, I'd love to see that. I said, hey Barnaby, I heard about what happened to you, Latrina, and I know you were very upset and lonely. Honestly, if you want to join me as well, I wouldn't mind. Barnaby stops mid-stride on the lush grassy cliff overlooking the world. The entire valley falls silent, save for the thundering music of the waterfall. Quali and the father Ferrager exchange a look of pure shock. The king isn't just building a team, he's building a legend. Barnaby's large, kind eyes well up with tears again, but this time they aren't just from happiness, they are from the overwhelming feeling of being seen. For years he was a lonely guardian, a memory of a past life. Now a tiny king with a golden crown is offering him a new future. He lets out a long, shaky breath that sounds like a whistle of wind. He leans his massive head down and gently presses his forehead against yours, closing his eyes. I'm not even going to try to mimic the noises he's making. I wish he had me. Ah. He whispers with a voice full of devotion. Yep. He says yes, Trenton. Aquaria translates, her voice trembling with emotion. He says he thought his heart had closed when his old friend passed away. You had brought the light back into it. He doesn't just want to protect the valley anymore. He wants to protect you. Your starfragger lets out a roar of approval that echoes across the mountains. A Dragonite and a Mega Feraligator, plus a future Salamence and a Lugia? Trenton, you aren't just a king anymore. You're a force of nature. The little Bagon is jumping for joy on Barnaby's shoulder. I can tell you, Barnaby sucks. Barnaby, though, is cool. Thrilled that his big mentor is coming along, too. Even Chomps is clapping his tiny hands together. As the sun catches your golden claws, you feel a surge of power. With Barnaby officially joining, your King's Sight suddenly activates. King's Sight? The world shifts and you see a flicker of the future. You see the blonde-haired human from your dream standing near a dark metallic building far to the north. This time in the vision he looks terrified because he sees the shadow of a massive dragon and a shimmering Lugia looming over him. You now have two dragon types in your team. Barnaby is ready to fly you anywhere you wish to go. Are you serious? There is no way. This is amazing. I'm gonna have a Chikorita that can turn into a Bailey for Meganium, a Cyndaquil that can turn into a Quilava or Typhlosion, a Feraligatr that can switch between his Totodile, Croconaut, and Ferag yourself, and Mega Evolve. And then now we're going to have a Salamence that can potentially Mega Evolve, and a Dragonite. That if we go by the new Mega Evolution, I could totally have all Mega Evolution Pokemon on my team. Because with the new game, with Legends 8 having so many new Megas, there's and imagine if I get like an Aggron or something too. Like, dude, I'd have a whole team full of Mega Pokemon. So if I can get them to all be sweet. I love it. Let's do at least one more because this is fantastic. Alright, guys. I said, I'm glad you want to come. I may be tiny, my friend. I'll have to show you and Bagon the exact same love I gave to my sweet Feraligatr, Chikorita, Cyndaquil, and Baby Lugia. I'd love to see that smile on all of your faces. Barnaby lets out a deep rumbling trill of pure joy, a sound so warm it feels like a physical hug. He gently scoops you up with one massive paw and brings you to his chest, nuzzling you with his soft orange snout. He's never felt a love like this, one that doesn't care about his power or his size, but simply wants to see him smile. Little Bagon scurries up I keep saying Bumblebee. Bartleby's arm and nuzzles right next to you, looking up at you with eyes full of hero worship. He knows he's found the right king. You really have a way of bringing out the best in everyone, Trenton. Macaulay says softly, her eyes shimmering. Most people see a Dragonite as a weapon or a tool. You see a friend. That's why your crown glows the way it does. Your starter Fragger steps forward, his massive head resting on Barnaby's leg in a sign of brotherhood. Welcome to the family, big guy. We got a lot of work to do. Our king has a vision for a world where no one has to be afraid of warehouses or cages. And with you on the team, we're going to make that a reality. Your Beluga chirps a beautiful silver note and lands right on top of Barnaby's head, claiming its spot. Two old brothers are cheering, throwing their Spinosaurus and T-Rex plushies into the air in celebration. Ah, Dragoon! I love it. Barnaby bellows, but it's not a roar of anger, it's a roar of pride. He spreads his wings wide, the sunlight catching the scales in a brilliant display of gold and orange. As the wind begins to pick up, you feel the red light in your claws pulse warmly. You know that with this team, you aren't just a tiny dinosaur anymore. You are the center of a powerful family that will change the world. Holy shoot. Barnaby is ready to take to the skies. Since he is so fast, he can get you the whole group back to the pond in seconds. Or he can carry everyone on his back for a scenic flight over the mountains. Wow. Um, this is amazing. Hey, you know the thing? I really need to get busy working on these memories so it'll remember this because I would love to have like that Bagon and that Salamence and all that stuff with me. I said Sal well he will be Salamence at one point, but he's still a Bagon, so yeah. That was amazing. I am legit done now. That was amazing. That is like what 3 or 4 great videos in a row. Perfect, as Crocodile would say. Have fun with your day or night, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye bye, everyone.